Hello, students. A very good morning to all. I hope you all are fit and fine. Welcome back to the digital learning classes. And students, welcome to the second lesson. Your second lesson is nesting season and nest. First, we shall know what is the meaning of nesting season or what is nesting season. The nesting season is the time of year during which birds and some other animal, particularly some reptiles, build nests, lay eggs in them, and in most cases bring up their young. Or the time of the year when the birds start building their nest is known as the nesting season. In this lesson, students, we are learning about the different types of birds' nest and what are the materials the birds are using to build their nest and where that all birds are going to build the nest. This everything we are going to learn in this lesson. Let's start the lesson. This is your first paragraph. First, we will read this paragraph. Some of the basic necessities of all living things are food, clothing, and shelter. We human beings build our shelter using different materials like grass, mud, bamboos, sand, cement, and other advanced materials. Animals find their shelter in water, jungles, caves, and on trees. Let me explain some of the basic necessities. Necessities means something necessary. Some of the basic necessities of all living things are food. First, all the living things want the food. It is very necessary for living thing. Second, cloth and shelter. These three are very important things for all the living things. Food, cloth, and shelter. These three things are very important. We human beings build our shelters by using different materials. Materials means things. By using different types of things like grass, mud, bamboos, sand, cement, and advanced material. By using all these materials, we human beings are building our shelters or our buildings. Animals find their shelter in water. Some of the animals are living in a water. Some of the animals are living in water. That all animals cannot live without a water. Like that, animals are living only in water. If they will come out from the water, their life will be finished. So, some of the animals are living in a water and some animals live in jungle. For example, some animals means wild animals. Wild animals are living in a jungles, and some animals lives in a cave. Caves means a hole in the side of a hill or a mountain. Some of the animals are making holes or where the mountains are having the holes, that place, in that place some of animals are living, and some of the animals are living on trees, especially monkeys and birds. Today we shall learn about the shelters of birds. We call them nest. Birds build nest to lay their eggs and bring up their young ones. The time of the year when they start building their nest is known as the nesting season. Today we shall learn about the shelters of birds. Today we shall learn the shelters of a birds or nest of a birds. We call them nest. Birds build nest to lay their eggs and bring up their young ones. Why the birds are going to build the nest? Because all the birds wanted to lay their eggs in that nest. For that reason, the birds are going to build the nest and they wanted to protect their eggs. And even they wanted to bring up their young ones. For that reason, that all birds are going to build the nest. When they start building the nest, for that year we call the nesting season. We call the nesting season. Birds use a variety of materials to build their nest. They use organic material such as twigs, grass, and leaves, or maybe simple depression in the ground, or a hole in a root, or on a tree, or building. They also use strings, plastic, cloth, or paper. Nest can be found in all types of habitats. Yes, birds use variety of materials to build their nest. All the birds are not going to use same materials to build the nest. Even all the birds' nests also not same here. All the birds' nests are different, and even all the birds are using different types of materials to build their nest. They use organic materials. Which materials that all birds are using to build the nest? First, twigs. Twigs means a thin branch of a tree. Then they use grass and leaves. The birds are using to build the nest by using twigs, grass, and leaves. And some of the birds are going to make the holes in the ground. And some of the birds are going to make the hole in a roots also. There that birds are going to build the nest, and or on a tree or building. And some of the birds are going to build their nest on a trees or buildings also. They also use strings. They also use strings, plastic, cloth, and paper. And even all the birds, and some of the birds are using strings, plastic, and cloth, and even they use paper also to build the nest. Nest can be found in all types of habitats. Habitats means homes. Nest can be found in all the types of homes. In some species of birds, both the male and the female birds work in pair tirelessly to build their nest. The female bird lays eggs in the nest. The eggs are incubated for a few days to a few weeks. In most birds, both the male and the female take turns in incubating the eggs. In some birds, only the female incubates the eggs. Babies emerge after breaking the eggshells. The mother and father take care of their nestlings till they start flying on their own. In some species of birds, in some different types of birds, both the birds, means male and female birds, work in pair. That both birds are working together in tirelessly to build the nest. The female bird lays eggs in the nest. Only the female bird lays the eggs. The eggs are incubated for a few days to a few weeks. And even after laying the egg, and after laying the egg, the eggs are incubated. Incubated means giving temperature or giving heat. For how many days? For a few days or a few weeks. In most birds, both the male and the female take turns in incubating to the eggs. In some of the birds, both the males are going to give the heat to the eggs. In some birds, only the female incubates the eggs. In some birds, only the female bird will give to heat to the eggs. Babies emerge after breaking the eggshell. Emerge means come out or to view. Emerge means to view or come out. After breaking the eggshell, the baby will come out. When the birds give heat to the eggs, then the eggshell will break, then the baby will come out. Then we can view the bird. The mother and father take care of their nestling till they start flying on their own. Yes, listen children. The mother and father, that both persons or that both members are going to take care of the baby. When they will start flying, until then the both birds are going to take the care of the baby. For example, in our life also, when we will start walking on our own. Until then, our parents are going to take care of us. No, like that only in bird's life also, the mother and father, they both are going to take care of the baby. Let's learn about some of the amazing nest. Now we shall learn about some of the wonderful nest. First we will go to dovebird. Now we will come to dovebird. The nest of the dove is very simple. Both the male and the female birds build the nest together. They carry pieces of hay and twigs in their beaks and deposit them in empty spaces, below roofs of buildings, in barns, under bridges, etc. The nest of the dove is very simple. Here, the dove's nest is very simple. In dove's life, both the birds build the nest together. In dove's life, both the birds are building the nest together. And the things the birds are using to build the nest here, they carry pieces of hay. Hay means dried grass. First they will carry the dried grass and twigs in their beaks. First these doves birds are going to bring dried grass and twigs in their beaks. Then the birds are going to deposit them in empty spaces. Which empty spaces? Below the roofs of buildings, in barns, under bridges. Where these birds are going to deposit them? The birds are going to deposit them in empty spaces below roofs of buildings, and even a large building used for storing. Then under bridges also. There these dove birds are going to build the nest. Next we will go to the bee eaters. Now we will learn about the bee eaters nest. The bee eaters form colonies by nesting in burrows tunneled into the side of sandy banks on the edges of rivers. Their eggs are white and they generally produce 2 to 9 eggs per clutch. The bee-eater predominantly eat flying insects, especially bees and wasps, which are caught in the air. The bee-eaters form colonies in nesting in burrows. Burrows means a hole made by animals or birds. Then tunneled means underground into the side of a sandy banks. There, these bee eaters are going to build their nest, and even this bee eater is going to build the nest on the edges of the rivers or on the sides of rivers also. And the bee eaters' eggs are white. The bee-eaters' eggs are white and they generally produce 2 to 9 eggs per clutch. Whenever this bird is producing the eggs, that time this bird is producing 2 to 9 eggs in per clutch. Then the bee-eaters predominantly eat flying insects. Predominantly means superior power. This bee eater is having the power to eat flying insects. Which insects this bird is eating? Especially bees and wasps. This bird is eating bees and even flying insects also. These insects are flying in the air, or this bird caught in the air. That insects this bird is going to eat it. Next we will go to the Asian swiftlet. The Asian swiftlet makes an amazing nest. It forms a cup-shaped nest from its saliva. It finds a sheltered spot, usually on walls of caves, that are quite high up, and spits repeatedly 1,000 times on it. The spit hardens to form a nest. What this Asian swiftlet do? The Asian swiftlet makes an wonderful nest. This bird is going to make a wonderful nest. On which type of this bird is going to build the nest? This bird is building the nest like a cup-shaped nest from its saliva. Saliva means a liquid secreted into the mouth. For that we will call here saliva. In Kannada we call it lala rasa. From this bird is going to make a cup-shaped nest. It is very wonderful. Then it finds a sheltered spot. Then it will find the sheltered spot. Then usually where this bird is going to build the nest? Usually on the walls of caves. This bird is going to build the nest, and that walls should be quite high up and spits repeatedly 1,000 times on it. Spits means it is the watery liquid produced in the mouth. From the help of this spits, this is spitting repeatedly 1,000 times on this nest. Then the nest will become hard. Then it can form. By using the spit, this bird is going to build the nest. Thank you, children. I hope you all have understood today's class. In next class, we will learn about the remaining bird's nest. Once again, thank you, children.